From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the hourly news blast. LGBTQ Nation is reporting President Donald Trump has already achieved 69% of the anti-LGBTQ plus policy goals recommended by Project 2025, the blueprint for his second term created by the Christian nationalist think tank, the Heritage Foundation, according to the website Project 2025 Tracker. The website, which describes itself as a comprehensive, community-driven initiative to track the implementation of Project 2025's policy proposals, lists 18 LGBTQ plus related goals. Of them, the tracker categorizes 11 of the blueprint's goals as completed. 3 is in progress and 4 is not started. Many of the completed goals have dealt with eradicating any funding for gender-affirming healthcare, erasing any mentions of LGBTQ plus inclusive language from federally funded groups, and reinterpreting federal anti-discrimination laws to exclude any protections for trans and non-binary individuals. But it is worth noting that many of the goals that the tracker marked as completed were policy changes sought in Trump's executive orders, though some of his orders have been pursued by various government agencies and upheld by court decisions. Others remain partially blocked in court challenges. Very few of the completed policy goals were accomplished through actual laws passed by Congress. As such, many of Trump's orders could potentially be overturned by a future president who issues opposing executive orders upon taking office. The 3 in-progress goals involve continuing to deny federal funds to, quote, woke groups, and prioritizing heterosexual families and children in government policies. The 4 not started goals include protecting religious-based anti-LGBTQ plus discrimination, prosecuting any pro-trans educators, and ending any Medicare coverage for gender-affirming surgeries, even though most major medical associations recommend such care. Overall, Trump has completed 47% of Project 2025 goals, the tracker states, barely 7 months into his second presidential term. Their completion has largely been aided by a Republican-led Congress that has not objected to his unconstitutional and illegal actions that supersede his constitutional authority, as well as by Republican-appointed judges, namely the 6-member Supreme Court majority, which has largely allowed his policies to remain in effect without offering much, if any, legal reasoning. Trump has also achieved some of his goals by illegally denying congressionally authorized federal funding to numerous groups and organizations, both domestically and internationally, or by threatening investigations and prosecutions of groups that defy his orders. Many universities, law firms, broadcasters, and other companies have complied with his orders, even though they are likely to violate constitutional rights to free speech. Trump feigned ignorance about Project 2025 and its goals during his 2024 re-election campaign, commenting, "Some of the things they're saying are absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. Anything they do, I wish them luck, but have nothing to do with them." Yeah, that was all garbage, and we all knew it. But as the then vice presidential nominee, Governor Tim Walz, the Democrat from Minnesota, said during the Democratic National Convention, "Look, I coached high school football long enough to know, and trust me on this, when somebody takes the time to draw up a playbook, they're going to use it." So, what's already in progress? The Department of Health and Human Services is revoking guidance that prohibited adoption and foster agencies from discriminating based on sexual orientation and gender identity. And if that weren't enough, they are prioritizing what they call traditional or heterosexual marriage in its messaging, health, and welfare policies. Meanwhile, the White House is cutting off government contracts to entities that enforce a woke agenda. Well, what isn't started yet? Health and Human Services will be rescinding Medicare coverage for gender reassignment or gender-affirming surgery. The Department of Justice will classify educators and public librarians who discuss transgender ideology, whatever that means, with minors as sex offenders. The Department of Labor will prohibit employee retirement plans from investing on ESG factors. That's environmental, social, and governance factors. They will also issue an order protecting religious employers and employees, clarifying that they may make employment decisions based on religion. The Trump regime is marching forward at a rapid pace with every intention of turning the United States into a right-wing conservative Christian theocracy. The LGBTQ plus and other marginalized communities are their target. Keep listening to PEP Radio for news impacting us. Now, starting next Tuesday, Pennsylvania Equality Project and PEP Radio will be participating in Crawford Gives Days, August 12th through August 15th. This is our one major fundraiser this year to offset our costs. For details on how you can help, go to paequality.com. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.